Well, let's get more on that story now. Palestinian journalist Yahya Abu Safia is here with me now. Also from New York, we're joined by the Israeli journalist Lahav Harkov. Thank you both for joining us tonight. First of all, Lahav Harkov, what do you make of this theme coming from Khaled Mashal that what we face now is a desperate Palestinian population that feels it has nothing to lose?
Well, you know, if Khaled Mashal wasn't so scary and violent, he would be funny, because he's lying in such a transparent way. I mean, Hamas has existed since before I was born, and its founding charter said not only does it want to destroy Israel, but it wants to kill all the Jews, not Zionists, not the Jews living in Israel, but Jews everywhere, including me. I'm in New York right now, even though normally I'm in Israel, and in any other place. So to say that somebody who for 30 years has been in an organization that's calling to kill all the Jews, suddenly events of recent months are making him violent, you tell me if that makes any sense to you. It doesn't to me.
Well, I have to say, Khaled Mashal, I mean, you're a bit out of date with your analysis of Hamas. Khaled Mashal has since said that he'd be accepting of a Palestinian state within the 67 borders. So there's been an advancement in terms of their position in that respect.
Well, I would like to see him act on that instead of shooting rockets at civilian populations.
OK, what do you make of it, Yahya Abu Safia?
Well, first of all, Hamas was created in 1988, so it wasn't 30 or nearly. But Hamas, as you said, Khaled Mashal did recognize two-state solutions. He wanted two-state solutions, firing rockets. After that, he agreed on ceasefire with Israel. But he didn't mention anything about killing the Jews. No, he have relationship with the Jews. He have open channels with some Europeans, and they are trying to talk to reach a deal. All this pressure from the international society on Khaled Mashal and Hamas make them believe that in two-state solution. As a Palestinian, I will never believe that Hamas will reach to this point. So this reminded me of how the PLO never believed in a two-state solution, but over the years, Israel and the Americans agreed on a peace.
Do you accept his criticism that Mahmoud Abbas has made someone who is willing to do all the negotiating that anyone would want under the international umbrella, but he's made no progress? So he's saying that's because even with someone as willing as Mahmoud Abbas, the Israelis will not negotiate.
Well, Abbas did everything he could. He arrested Palestinians who are trying to create any violence against Israel. Until now, he's done everything the international society, the Americans, the Europeans, even the Israelis asked Abbas to do. But at the end, they didn't even give him a piece of land or withdraw from the main cities in the West Bank.
Lahav Harkov, what do you make of that?
You know, Abbas doing everything he could would include stopping inciting to violence, saying things like that Palestinians should do anything it takes to keep Jews away from the Temple Mount, not from praying on it, which I don't get why that's so bad, not from desecrating it, just from even being there. Or he would change the texts, the Palestinian textbooks that children learn in, that say that Palestine is the entire, what used to be the British Palestinian Mandate.
To pray, Lahav.
Yeah, okay. Please, no.
Palestinians pray there every single day, and not one Jew is allowed to. And you know who enforces that? The Israeli police.
I'm from Gaza. The last time I was in the West Bank and Jerusalem.
You're from Gaza.
And Jerusalem, even with my British citizenship, I have a British passport.
Every single day.
I have a British passport that even with my British passport, because I'm originally from Gaza, I can't get into the West Bank, Israel,
we're taking off a bit here.
Or Jerusalem.
Can we just pause a bit? Lahav Harkov, can I just have Jayub finish his sentence first? Thank you.
Well, to be honest, we're praying in the mosque. I'm not that religious. My parents, they want to go to pray in the mosque. They've been in Gaza, stuck in Gaza for more than 30 years. Israel wouldn't allow them to give them permission to go to pray in Jerusalem, while the very right-wing activist settlers who are living illegally by the international law, not by the Palestinian law, recognized that they're living in settlements. They're going to just during the prayer times, just entering the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Okay, Lahav Harkov, first of all, do you accept that the settlements are illegal under international law?
No, I don't.
You think it's legitimate for settlements to be built in the land east of any kind of dividing border between the potential Palestinian state and Israel?
There is no border. There is no internationally recognized border. If there was, then I suppose it would be illegal for Israel to, build beyond its internationally recognized border. But until it's there,
Until it's there,
not
until
illegal.
It's there, yeah,
it's,
what?
you know, one can debate whether it's advisable or not, but illegal it's not.
Okay, if you're in New York, if you just walk like for 5-10 minutes, go to the United Nations there and just check some of the international resolutions talking about 1967 lands, which was occupied by the Israeli army in 1967, which includes the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. It's the Palestinian state, Palestinian land. The Palestinians gave up more than 78% of the historical Palestine for the Jews to have their own state. Now, even the Israel, as the Jewish state, they are trying to create constitution.
In 1947, when the UN gave them a state, and instead of accepting that state, the Arab world and the Palestinians,
so now you want
who didn't
to take
call themselves Palestinians back then, went to war against the Jews.
With the Palestinians.
Don't talk about us invading your state.
Okay, so Lahav, Harkov, do you think there's any point in any kind of negotiation at all? Do you think that the Palestinians and the Israelis have anything to negotiate about at all?
Yes, I do think there's a point to negotiation.
Negotiate what?
I do think we have lots to negotiate about. I think that hopefully we can have peace one day. I think, listen, our government, this isn't about my opinions, this is about Israel's position versus Palestine's position, or the Palestinians' position, and the Israeli government advocates a two-state solution. And you know, if that will bring peace, then, you know, I would be happy to have peace rather than to have every single inch of every. I mean, peace is what's the important here, and we're here to talk about the violence, right? We want the violence to stop. But there's been no indication that giving up land will stop violence. Look at what happened in Gaza. We gave up every inch of Gaza in 2005, and all we have since then are rockets being shot at our civilians who live near Gaza. Now that shows to me that Hamas, who's in charge of Gaza, thinks that all of Israel is the occupation, meaning that the state of Israel shouldn't exist.
Yes, well, the withdrawal from Gaza in 2005, Gaza is now the biggest prison. People can't get in and out of Gaza. Every single goods coming into Gaza have to be reported by the Israeli army. They allow only a few goods. Please let me speak. I need to finish this point. Israel, there are more than 5,000 checkpoints around the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem. The Israeli occupation is making Palestinian life like hell. So they will react. The violence will end when there is justice in Palestine, when the Palestinians have their own rights to move for movement. When I can go whenever I want to fly to Gaza airport or Jerusalem or Ramallah to go visit my family, like how you go and come back whenever you want to.
Okay, Jayab Abu Safia, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Our thanks also to Lahav Harkov in New York. Thank you also for speaking to us tonight here on Sky News. Thank you both.